Hey guys, what's up? This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links Ojama deck guide slash commentary. We'll be going over deck, what's good and bad about the Ojama cards, and as well as 3 highlighted duels that I've used, or that I've played using the Ojamas. So recently I just spent like an hour, a little over an hour just playing with Ojamas and climbing from like silver 1 to gold 1. And then within that hour or so, I saw the potential of the Ojama decks, and it's pretty strong in comeback potential. It's good for basically swarming the field, and as well as mitigating and nullifying enemy monster zones from them to be used to summon monsters. So basically, the key of the deck is Ojama Country. Now, without this, you'll probably lose every single time, because that Ojama Country, your monsters have no chance. Your Ojama monsters have no chance of doing damage to win the game. So what it does is basically it swaps out the attack and defense of all monsters on the field as long as there's an Ojama present. So here we have, for example, Ojama Yellow has 0 attack, 1000 defense, but as soon as it's summoned, it has 1000 attack and 0 defense, and it reverses the enemy's monsters as well. So this gives the Ojamas some power. It makes them a little more useful. But the goal of the deck is to summon out King or Knight. One of each is definitely needed, 2 of each is preferable, and that's all you really need. So here we have 3 Ojama countries in total, 2 in our deck and 1 from this field spell skill, and I think you only need 3 in total. 3 Ojama country cards is kind of an overkill, so I think 2 is fine. Floodgate's optional, but it's just another way of defending yourself. It's you can replace it with something else of your liking. We have 2 econs for just standard defense. 1 fitting room. Basically, it's good for thinning out your deck and swarming the field. And I'll show an example of a good usage of the enchanting fitting room. And then we have 3 Ojamas of each black, yellow, and green. And then we have 1 blue, Ojama blue. I definitely think you need 2 to make this deck a little better if you brick your hand. So what it does is basically Ojama blue kind of also thins out your deck, but it allows you to specifically pull out cards that you need. So let's say Ojama Country is destroyed and you need another Ojama Country as soon as possible. As soon as Ojama blue is destroyed by battle, you can basically fish out any Ojama card or any card with the Ojama title in it, so that includes Ojama as well. So as soon as Ojama blue is destroyed and your country is gone, you can immediately get another country and play it on the field the next turn. This card is really good, and it's also a great way of kind of fishing out for specific Ojama cards. Like, let's say I want to summon out King, but I only have black and yellow, and I need a green, and my Ojama blue dies, I can get another green out as soon as Ojama blue dies. Then we have 1 Blaze Man. He's just used for fishing out for polys, and he also synergizes as well, because the attack and defense are swapped, so now he'll have 1800 attack, and if you're playing against a Joey with Field of the Warriors, you'll now have 2000 attack, so he's pretty strong. So we'll be going over 3 highlighted duels of different situations using the Ojama deck. And just really quickly, I think the pros and cons of Ojamas are definitely its comeback potential. It's also pretty good for reviving and recycling cards. And obviously it's really weak because, the weaknesses are the monsters are really weak, and without Ojama Country you can't win, so that's a huge factor. So if your opponent has Executioners, you'll pretty much lose the game 100% of the time, because you need Ojama Country, otherwise you'll lose the game. Unless you can like stall out with 3000 defense and just make your opponent top deck, and then you can possibly win, if you can stall for that long. But yeah, that's the importance of Ojama Country. So now we'll be going over 3 specific situations. Alright, so this is a ranked recording of myself as the Chaz player and against Yami Yugi. So once we get our hand. Alright, so in this duel, our hand is actually pretty nice. We have a Blaze Man, which is a free poly, and we already have a poly in our hand, so this helps thin out our deck, because we're taking out another poly out of it. And also, we use the enchanting fitting room to just swarm our deck. So here we get Ojama green, black, and yellow, which is really good. So we have 2 polys in our hand, we can get another one as soon as I summon Blazeman, which allows for basically 3 polys in my hand, so that thins out my deck, so that eliminates the probability of getting polys and drawing something better that I need. So because we have 3 Ojamas of different colors in our hand and field, I don't need to use the Ojama black that's on the field, so I saved 1 normal summon. So here is a great example of the Ojama deck potential of swarming. So here we have Ojama King, a black, and a Blazeman on the field. As you can see, it synergizes well with our Ojama country because now we have 1800 attack monster. So here we sack Blazeman to wipe out his field, and this could have been game, but he has an econ, so he manages to stall out 1 turn. As you can see, he's kind of overwhelmed because we already have game next turn, and this is a panic bluff, because the reason why I know this is a bluff is because last turn he didn't face set these 2 cards last turn to, you know, kind of imply that, you know, he's ready for my attack. But here he just kind of panics and, you know, puts them face down. So I know for a fact these are just complete, like, nothing. They won't do anything. So I get an Ojama King and Knight on the field within my 2nd turn, basically. So this is the potential of the Ojamas, as I said. It thins out my deck and gets the cards that I preferably need. So as I said, I knew he was bluffing. He didn't have anything. I banished all of his monster zones, and that was the quick win. So now we'll be going over more comeback potential Ojama duels. Alright, so here's our 2nd duel. Also, I apologize for any like static in the background. It's just my headset. So here, this duel was like my first usage of the Ojamas in the PvP, and I made some like stupid mistakes. So as you can see, we have a pretty bad hand. We have no poly, we have no, you know, nothing to really get out our monsters on the field. So here I'm just trying to stall and fish out for some cards. So I have my Floodgate, and luckily here we actually draw out a poly. So we're able to summon our king on the 4th turn, and that helps us a lot because now we have our, you know, strongest monster that we can play. And now banish his zone, and now he takes a huge chunk of damage. So now with this, he plays the Exploder Dragon. So I thought he was going to attack me. Granted, this is like silver elo, so like when you see people with like 30 card decks, you know they're kind of like bad in a sense, because ideally you should have 20 cards in a deck because you want to not have any filler cards that prevent you from doing your main combo. So this is one of the mistakes I made. I got the attack and defense switched up, so that was kind of stupid. So I took 200 damage unnecessarily, and I also, for some reason, at this point I was like trolling. I took another 200 for no reason, so I took 400 for pretty much no point. So here I can sacrifice my king, and I have no fear of, you know, losing my strongest card because I can just easily revive it with Ojama Country, which allows for me to revive any card with the Ojama title as long as I sacrifice 1 Ojama themed card. So here he gets his strong fusion monster on the field, so it's looking pretty grim, as you can see. And he has swarms to field himself. So now here, Ojama Blue is really useful in this situation because now I can fish out the 2 cards I need, and he destroys. So I just needed 2 Ojamas. So now I'm down to 600 life points, and he has 2100. He has 3 monsters on the field. You know, how do you win this, right? This is where you cue your comeback Yu-Gi-Oh music, right? So here I'm able to revive my king because I sacrificed 1 Ojama, put Blazeman on the field, get a free poly, and now from the Ojama Blues effect, I was able to now get enough cards to play Ojama Knight. So here I have 1800, 3000, and 2500 attack monster, easily to swarm the field. So his Metamorph is kind of iffy. Or realistically, he had no chance of winning, regardless on what monster he put it on. But as you can see, this is the insane comeback potential of the Ojamas, I think. The ability to swarm out the field and revive your strong monsters. So here, as you saw, I was able to bring back King Knight and have an 1800 Blazeman, which enabled me to win. So the next duel we'll be going over is what to do when your Ojama country is destroyed. Alright, so this is our 3rd and final highlight. So this duel, what happened was my Ojama country was destroyed, and this is, as I mentioned earlier, the key card to win the game. Because without Ojama country, you have no chance of winning. So here, we're just trying to stall for time at this point. So he destroys my Ojama country, which is not good, and he gets a pretty strong monster beater on the field. I can tell this guy's pretty noob as well, because he's running basically a mishmash of high-level monsters and steroid attack equip spells, and he just wants to get high attack monsters. I have no idea why he used this. He thought he was gonna like take damage or something. Like I had a big shield guard now, but it doesn't matter. So I can sacrifice my Ojama blue, let it get destroyed, and here we're able to fish out for some Ojama cards. We just use econ, so I'm not taking 2500 to the face. So now here we get really lucky and we draw Poly. So now we re-enable our Ojama country, play a Poly. We have 3 varieties of each Ojama, so now we're able to get king on the field. So as you saw, blue enabled me to fish out for another Ojama country, which now makes my king 3000 attack. So now he has no cards in his hand. I don't know what this play was, to be quite honest. He didn't set it, but it doesn't matter because this is game. Had he set it, he probably had another turn of living, but didn't. So yeah, just insane recycle ability in thinning out of decks with the Ojama cards. So if you learned something new and you've enjoyed this like commentary, I appreciate if you leave some feedback, and thanks for watching.